Add to stage.
Add to stage.
I can't technology. Okay, we're live.
We're live.
We're live.
Still live.
Here we are. All right, we technologied. Congratulations.
To us, yeah.
Well, to me.
Yeah.
For clicking buttons.
You did a good job.
Welcome. Welcome into the monthly Meltdown, where we recap for you last month in the world of the Pear House.
It's been a big month.
Yeah, April. We did a lot of things. We did a lot of weird things.
A lot.
We've had a lot going on.
I mean, it's everything from being in Mississippi, twice? 3 times?
What?
Yeah, because we went through, stayed there in Biloxi and then Pascagoula.
Mobile was Alabama. Yeah, we stopped in Pascagoula. You want to talk about that? Because I don't know if we haven't, I don't know if we're going to talk about Pascagoula anywhere.
Well, I mean, the Pascagoula UFO crash site, we were driving out to Florida and we knew it was on the way. So we stopped, we saw the UFO abduction site. Really, really cool site. And they have a whole marker there that we went out and found in this park. And J. Allen Hynek, the UFO researcher scientist, has a quote that's on there, which is really, really cool. But we later, a couple weeks later, I guess, ended up in Centerville.
Yeah, Centerville, Mississippi, that is coming soon to the real ghost of, but it got weird. Really weird.
And it's kind of a shift, the way I'm seeing it, in evolution, I guess is a better word, for really everything we do. Parapeculiar, real ghost of, like everything in the house. I mean, long story short, we won't get too much into it because we are going to do a whole series on it, but it took us out to the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods, and we got led to this clearing with filing cabinets and weird stuff, and had a radical seance, and cats showed up when we asked. It was wild.
It was weird, but you better not say anymore. I'm going to punch you in the face because you are giving things away.
I don't think that matters, but yeah.
Mississippi. But before that, we did the Kate Shepherd house. And that was in Mobile, Alabama, which part 2 of that investigation series released today on The Real Ghosts of. So they have now heard my walk. They've heard you give me the kind of update on what happened there, and they've heard our investigation. So everybody has heard me snore. So that's embarrassing, and I'm so sorry for you that you had to hear that.
I'm used to it, but that was a wild investigation as well. And I hate to use that word. Like, I feel like this last month has been this shift of like even changing our language.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like we've been talking about, not loving the language of some of these things since the very beginning, but I think it's just
because they're like these barriers. They're like these blockages, this modern language we have to define these things that prevents us, I think, from really understanding, experiencing
it's almost
and embodying
like
it.
Yeah, well, the current language around things like ghost, right? And people have the connotation it's a human who has died and now they're a ghost, right? I feel like it almost puts things in a box, and it prevents you from being more open-minded and curious and looking to the possibilities as to what other things this could be.
Well, I think beyond that, what the box does is, I've been referring to it in my mind as the dogma house. These boxes, this vocabulary, these definitions, right? Words like ghost or investigator or anything that we use, right? It puts these boxes around it, and it creates dogma because it creates this weird idea of, coloring something in a way that it is not meant to be.
Well, dogma, so dogma, it essentially makes it like a religion, it's like people are very like, this is what it is, and these are my beliefs on it, and if anything that strays outside of that because of how we have defined these words, is bad or wrong, or which, I mean, the reality is we're never going to know the answers to these things. So I mean, that point alone seems a bit silly to me. It's like having,
I think for me, it's not even about knowing the answer. Like, we'll theorize on it. We go down the rabbit hole, we talk about it, but I think to truly experience it and embody it, you get rid of the we'll never know the answers, and you understand that you are the answer, right? I hope that that's kind of coming off with you are sort of so connected with whatever this is that we're engaging with, you already have the answer. You know the answer. You just have to remember it. And it's through this act of remembering, and that's my new thing is remembering.
Well, you're getting into my world of, believing the, the soul journey and all of that. And, the soul amnesia.
No, to a degree. Because I think
I'm
the
sure
soul
you're going to
journey
define that differently than I would.
But... Yeah. But I think regardless, this past month, these adventures that we've sort of been on, everything from Kate Shepherd House to the Shadow Moon Shadow Manor, which was in Centerville, Mississippi.
Which go follow them on Instagram. Beautiful.
Yeah, utilizing new devices in what we do. I mean, we leveraged Nautica in Mississippi. We're using different frequency devices. So we were just recently in Victoria, Texas for the Sixth Realm House. And for the first time, we tried out this new device that I'd had made that is a frequency generator, and it's all the various chakra frequencies, and it's got knobs for them. You can dial them in, dial them out, mix and match. And we put you under that, didn't we, with the headphones and everything else, much like doing an Estes session, but it wasn't the same because it wasn't about listening for what you're coming through the static. It was more about visualization and what was coming into your mind.
Well, getting into the subconscious, which I think all of these, ideally we're trying to use to do. But yeah, that was an interesting experience using the different frequencies specifically. And I'm sure y'all have heard about things like Hertz music or just different Hertz frequencies. And, you can go on YouTube and it's Hertz music for getting rid of a headache or Hertz music for attracting abundance, right? And we're familiar with chakras. So we have this thing that you had made for us that will allow you to play the different frequencies of each chakra, but you can also add in or, take out white noise, pink noise, I think these different things.
It has a white and pink noise generator on there. Yeah. And it's funny, initially I wanted something that was just going to channel in what you would call the third eye chakra, right? For a lot of reasons. I mean, I've been down rabbit holes about it sort of stimulating the pineal gland, and I'm very interested in that.
Yes.
But having conversations with the guy that builds these devices, this idea of having all the different chakra frequencies on there, I think was a better idea. And it was really interesting because like an Estes session, you've all seen us do that. It's like our method. But
I'm curious what it was like for you, on the side of experiencing what was coming through for me, that versus an Estes session.
Well, it is interesting, and I want to do it more and more because what I found compelling about it was during your basic Estes session, you've got the white noise going through from whether it's a ghost box or even if it's just white noise, right? With no, RF or anything like that. But you are listening for audio. You're listening for things to come through. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. But when you strip that away and it's just the frequencies in there, it's more about what's coming through in the mind. So you might call that imagination, right? You might call that imagination.
I think it's just channeling.
And it was interesting because the things that were coming through to you would be things like colors. There was a lot of that happening. Symbols.
Which in hindsight, so dumb. That makes sense. Of course, you're going to see colors because that's literally how when people are doing in the spiritual world, metaphysical world, chakra balancing and stuff, typically you're focusing on the color of that chakra. I don't know why I didn't think of that when we were doing it. That's real fucking stupid of me.
Well, it's an interesting way to go about doing something like the Estes session or method. I mean, I think it's pretty close enough, right? The idea is still there, but it's just a different sort of medium to do that. The same guy that made us that, he also made us a custom Rotave diode. So everyone that follows us knows that.
Before we start talking about that, can I talk about the different frequency thing?
Yeah.
So I just want to share what it's like for me being under it versus Estes, because you talked about your experience with it, hearing what's coming through. It's interesting because for me, having the different chakra frequencies, it feels more like a full body experience, for lack of a better way of saying that.
Can you describe that?
Like Estes method, whether we have it sweeping through frequencies or whether we just have it on some sort of static or white noise, or just using a phone playing static or white noise, it's very heady. It's very centered there and just what you're listening for, and trying to capture that, I guess. But these different frequencies, and so anybody who's been to a concert, you're going to know what I'm talking about, like the different frequencies of music. And especially when it gets into like lower frequencies, you can feel these vibrations pretty physically in your body. You know what I'm saying? And with this, the different frequencies for the different chakras, it's interesting because it will kind of stimulate those different centers. And so you do feel it a bit more physically, like those vibrations throughout your entire body. And so I feel like for me, at least, it felt a lot easier to get to that, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, subconscious space, I don't know, altered state of consciousness, like you're in it, in the zone, faster and more easily. And it also felt deeper to me, which I think led to, at least in my perception, and I'd be curious to know what you felt in regards to what I was saying versus what I might say under just Estes. It felt like I was able to receive a lot more information.
Yeah, and here's why. So when we get rid of the radio component of the Estes session, we have to remember that even if we are using it in a really good way and really doing a good Estes session, there's still this one key factor that no matter who you are, you can't get rid of it. And that is that you are essentially relying on the radio or the spirit box, whatever you're using, to sort of guide you and sort of give you what you need, versus when you're doing it with just the frequencies, that's coming from self, which can be argued as coming from source, which can be argued as coming from a place much more closer to what we're after than you would get typically using the other methods. And I know that that's a bit woo-woo and philosophical, but if you just think about what's going on, there's no static, there's no radio blips, there is no voices, whether spiritual or just RF signal. There is only the self, there's only you, and it's just you and your mind. And I think
you're turning your antenna on.
Yeah. And I think there's something really compelling and interesting. Now, we have been messing with that for a while, even before we got this device, when we were using the casino mind place, the mind machine there. And that was kind of our like journey into that. And we were getting some fun stuff, but I wanted to just have a device that was just the pure tones versus like something that was designed for a purpose.
Yeah.
And if you watched, we were live streaming, I believe.
We live streamed in the private Facebook group.
Yeah. So we were in there and you were under, and I was like manning the device. So I would bring one frequency in, lower another, and I would tell you like, as these things change, if it gets to a spot where you feel like, whoa, it's got to stay there, like say something. So I think it's interesting. You're going to see this a lot more of this experimenting coming soon with this stuff. This person has made a lot of the stuff that we use. The detuned radio made that.
The hidden frequencies.
Which is an EMF detector.
And then the Rotavay diode that you were just talking about. Dang, I wish we had it right here because it looks so cool.
It's very cool.
It's shaped like a little coffin with a little like skeleton in it.
And we may be the only one. So when I talked to him about building me a Rotavay diode, which is something that we already have used for a long time, it's the Rotavay diode. And if you want to know why, like you can look into that whole thing. But I wanted one that was custom.
Essentially a crystal radio, right?
Yeah. Yes. Using a germanium diode. I wanted something that was built custom for us. Well, our bruv who makes these, he did a bunch of research and he comes back to me and he says, any of the Rotavay diodes that I've found that people are making available, which is not easy to find. There's really only like one guy making them currently, and he sells them for like $150 or something like this. And he said, no one is using the original sort of schematics for what Constantine
Which
Rodovay
is weird.
had said, well, no, I get it, because
me.
everyone wants to add on to things and do their own version of it.
Yeah, I guess. But
Right?
then
Like, what do you think an
do
SB7 is?
Do
It's
they
literally
call them their own thing, though?
no, they
Like,
call it Robodava. Think about
that's
what an
weird.
SB7 is. It's literally they took the Frank's box and said, now we're going to do it and make our own thing.
But they're calling it something different.
Sure, it's still the Spirit box. It's just a different branding name, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's still a rotary diode. But here's the deal: he made ours according to the original schematics, and I don't know that many people,
which is super cool,
have that. And he set it up to be one of the only ones that's out there that you can literally plug directly into a external speaker. Mm-hmm. And listen to everything. So
that way we can hear it.
Very cool. I've actually got something sitting right here that we're going to experiment
new toy.
with. Very simple. You've all seen me use contact mics. We've put what we put on the mirror.
Yeah, may or may not have. If you're in our Patreon, you definitely have.
Yeah. And that's been something very compelling to me. But what's been really compelling to me after some of these studies I looked at with water, and I can't remember where, I think it was a Diana Pasulka thing where they were talking about water and how it is this, it's obviously a conductor, and like we are 70 some odd percent made of water, mm-hmm. and how the human body is actually designed as a perfect sort of transmitter and receiver of information. Like a computer, and that water could be a big component of that. So I had about a year and a half ago started experimenting with ITC work utilizing water. When I mixed in AI into that aspect, my water, and taking those recordings and running them through AI, we were getting some really, really, really compelling and very interesting responses. So water has been a big thing for me. So I wanted a way to just go right to the source, because look, if water is this massive conductor of energy, electricity, what have you, it stands to reason that if we are trying to engage something that is in the other, mm-hmm. that water could play a big piece of that. And it took me back to, we talk about haunted locations, right? That so many of them are places of running water.
Yeah, like mineral wells with all the mineral springs. But it's also, and you can go look this up. You've probably already seen them, all of the studies with water, with people like, if you say something good to it, it'll crystallize in these beautiful formations versus
that Japanese scientist did a whole book on
and
that.
then there's even current research going on about how water literally might like have a consciousness, which is really, I don't know, just wild. If you go,
well, no, I mean, if you think about like where a natural source of water would be, it's coming from the earth. And mm-hmm. if you think of the earth having a conscious in itself, I mean, of course it does. There's data there. And so anyways, this thing is really cool. It is a contact mic, much like the telephone pickup mic we use. But this is waterproof. So the idea is going to be simple, is me utilizing water and having this little bruv in the water, mm-hmm. to record, hopefully, the sound of.
See if anything's coming through.
Yeah.
And something I also personally, I've been telling you, I want to do this experiment for a long time. It's like do literally 11, and go like sit in a float tank and get into like that like altered state of consciousness and just have you like ask me questions. But like, yeah, what would it be like if I'm doing that? And then like you have that in there too, like, I wonder if, can it pick up our thoughts?
Probably, maybe. I mean, you could try that just in a bathtub. I don't think a float tank, I think it's fun to have it because it's on the TV show, but like a float tank can do the same thing.
But you don't have to like, there's no physical exertion. You just float in it.
Sure. I think
versus a bathtub, you have to like hold yourself up.
Or you can just submerge yourself and then come up for air, submerge yourself. I don't know. There's lots of different ways you can try it. But
into the zone.
to do this, though, to utilize this, I'm going to combine it with, I don't know, what I was thinking on the drive today when I was coming home is something utilizing the analog radios that we use with maybe a cup or a bowl of water on it. So like that vibration of the noise is hitting the vessel, right? So it's going to be, and then this will be in the water.
That's an interesting thought, bro.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll help us hear those voices more clearly, because that is whenever we use those radios, you like eventually you start hearing the voices, but they're very much, it sounds within the static, and you typically like can't make it out.
Yeah. That is that's correct. So that's what's been going on the devices side. And yeah, this past month we've been on the road and on the road and on the road and on the road. We just
on the road again this weekend, and the weekend after that we will be in San Antonio.
We will. I actually, so anyone that's
see us.
Anyone that's local, come out to San Antonio. We'll be there for.
It is May 17th for Psychic and Spirit Fest. It is at Victoria Black Swan Inn, run by Curious Twins Paranormal. They're awesome.
Yeah, total babes. But here's the thing that's going to be cool about it is the Warrens collection people. They are bringing Annabelle. Right?
Annabelle.
Yeah, the OG Annabelle. And you know, I think it's funny because we are bringing some of our heavy hitters.
Yeah. We're going to have the mirror. We're going to have the chair. We'll probably bring the Bell Witch rocks.
So this is like a WrestleMania. This is like Paramania, right? And I think I truly believe that it's going to be like one of the great matches, by the way, WWF history. It was WrestleMania 6. It was Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. And I think it's going to be kind of like that. That's what I imagine. I just like dropped elbow drops on Annabelle.
Like, honestly, like I know I'm biased, but I think like if you look at the reported activity and the stuff that Annabelle did, you know, and then also like what she currently does, which is nothing. You know, I'm like, nah, I think our bros win. We literally I have an entire folder with screenshots of people getting an attachment.
Yeah.
From being even just hearing about the chair.
Well, I mean, we take the mirror into account and we experimented with it, and now our good bruv RW gets followed by the orbs, all kinds of stuff. Anyways, go out there. It's gonna be great because you will get to see Annabelle, which whatever you feel about the Warrens, whatever you feel about the Annabelle doll or any of that, you know, it's still for paranormal history. It's cool. You get to see it in person. And we will be there. You get to see us in person.
And the Parapup will be there.
Yeah, they'll be there.
So you can give them a little head pat.
Bring treats.
You can give both of us a little head pat too. We'll probably need it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be freaking hot.
It's going to be a long day. So we'll be there. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming up. So keep on the lookout for that. Yes. We have we recorded an episode of Parapeculiar with Pat Fitzhugh, Bell Witch historian.
Yeah, so
expert.
those of y'all have been following along because we did that whole series on Real Ghosts of for the Bell Witch and our adventures there, and we were finally able to get in touch with Pat, who's one of like the preeminent scholars on the Bell Witch. So
Heather Moser sent us over to him, didn't she?
Yes. From Small Town Monsters. Shout out Heather. She's amazing.
Yeah.
Also an amazing researcher. But when is that airing next week?
No. Next week is a Hush Pups episode where it is it was off the rails, that Hush Pups episode. Was
it Frankie?
It was Frankie.
Okay, so let's talk about that too, since we just talked about San Antonio. Next month, June 12th through 15th, I believe, we're going to be in Chicago, Windy City Parafest. I'm super excited about it. We're speaking. We're going to bring some of the haunted items, but also really awesome if you are not able to make it in person, because we know most of the brethren are Texas based. They are going to have virtual passes as well, where you can get access to all of the different talks and panels and everything, which I think is really cool, because I know that's something like you see these things happening and no FOMO, but I do get a lot of FOMO because they all look so cool. And I'm like, I really want to be there. So no FOMO. You can join virtually and watch us as well. So Windy City Parafest, if you use the code HAUNTED, that's our special code. It gives you 10% off any of the tickets, in person, virtual, whatever. So yeah, Windy City Parafest, that's going to be really, really awesome. And it's also for my witchy babes out there. They are doing crossover. There's like paranormal, there's occult, there's witchy people talking. So I think
one thing I'm happy about with this fest is it goes back to that changing of the language. Mm-hmm. That word crossover, if we get rid of it, because witchy, paranormal, UFO, cryptid, like quite literally, if you look at this, it's all in the same atmosphere. So I think it's good on this festival for combining all of that, because it is something that we do see. I know there'll be different like fests, right? Like UFO fest or whatever, and they all like kind of battle each other.
Bigfoot fest.
Well, and again, I won't name the name of them, but there was a witch fest here in Austin that would not have us because they said that it was too different.
Oh, really?
Paranormal and witchy stuff, too different. And I wanted to argue that so bad, but I didn't. I've gotten better about
Yeah, we're all
choosing
doing the same thing. It's all the same thing. And I think that, I mean, that is a hill that I will die on personally, is like, if you are only, you have to be multidisciplinary. Like if you are only looking at ghosts or only looking at UFOs or only looking at cryptids, like a lot of this stuff is all the same thing. Like you have to look at all of these things. And even like when you get into like looking at symbols and whatever, okay, then you need to know the occult stuff, and you know, which like it's all one big world and should be one big happy family. Everybody should be having dinner together at the same table.
Very last separating.
Just my thoughts.
Yeah, so that's going on. Really excited for that. We are going to go to Lou Malnati's Pizza, and we're just having an open invite pizza party out there. So if you're
Whoever
in Chicago
wants to
or in the area, come see us.
We don't know what evening it will be yet, but we'll be posting about that and sharing that. So yeah, if you are going to come in person, we are doing a Lou Malnati's, not Illuminati's Pizza. Lou Malnati's Pizza, my favorite pizza.
Yeah, super secret seance pizza party. So be on the lookout for deets.
Yeah.
When that's going to happen. So,
which, speaking of super secret seance party, surprise, I put up the Patreon schedule today in Chaos Hours. We're having a family seance.
Oh, are we?
We're doing a family seance, bro.
Okay.
For whoever is able to make it, if you're local, for our Pair Academy and our Patreon.
We have so many brethren that are not local that
we'll
we will also
streaming it as
live stream it as well.
Yes, we'll be streaming it as well for anybody who is unable to make it live. But if you are local, come hang out at the Pair House with us. Okay, can we also shout out, because I know the mayor's on here. Mayor.
Oh, look.
We got your postcards.
So this was another moment, and Damien has a lot of these moments, doesn't he, where he'll just cry. He'll just cry about shit.
A lot.
I cry a lot. And I think, you know, Mayor Wayne, he's one of the OG brethren. He going over to Asia all the time. Where are these from?
Yeah, he went to Hong Kong.
Hong Kong.
Which is just, they're beautiful postcards. And Singapore. And he was amazing and he
put the stickers out.
Yeah, he put a Pair Peculiar sticker, I believe, in Tokyo.
Well,
or what? I don't know.
I'm a little let down. A little let down. He didn't put the Pair Peculiar sticker where I wanted it to go.
The Dominatrix bar. I think that would have been pretty appropriate.
Very appropriate. Very appropriate.
And then the Real Ghost of sticker, I think, is in Singapore.
Yeah. So
Wayne, you can let us know. Oh, Osaka.
Osaka.
Osaka is where the Pair Peculiar sticker.
I believe that's where the damn bar is.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, he was with his daughter. He's not you can't go to a freaking dominatrix bar. Like, okay, honey, let's go. You know, like, I don't know about that.
So we appreciate, though, him spreading that sort of gospel for us and putting the stickers out
spreading
over
the weird
and everything. So that was awesome.
To other countries. So just open shout out anybody who, you know, if you like what we're doing and you're traveling and going other places
we'll
and you want some of our stickers to like put places, I'll send you stickers.
We should print out a bunch of have you heard about or can I speak to you about pamphlets.
Yeah, like the little Bibles that people pass out.
Yeah. Speaking of books, this past month we also got the great opportunity to go to our good friend and brethren Monica Ballard to her latest book signing, which is right here. True Haunted Tales, of Austin and Central Texas. Yes. Monica Ballard right there. And of course, you know, we couldn't do it without getting her sign it, but let's find, where are you at? Nicole made an appearance in the book. Yeah,
she has 2 pictures of us in there. I don't know. I guess I should have bookmarked it ahead of time, huh?
Well, that shows your ego's going away. That's good.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't find it. I just
wanted to talk about her book, but I'm really excited. If you are local to the Austin area or just will be coming here at any point and want to learn about the lore, the legends, the stories, I definitely recommend getting this because Monica, she also is an incredible researcher. She's been doing this for a very long time. So I very much trust like what she says. She is all about telling the truth of the story. Okay. Like it's not, I'm going on Google and going to see what people wrote. And then that's the truth, right? She's going down the rabbit hole. She's finding like death certificates, the newspaper articles before she will actually tell what the story is, because it's not just a story. She's telling the actual history. So I very much appreciate that.
Yeah. And to get you titillated so you can go out and buy the book. I think it's available on Amazon.
It is on Amazon, so go get it on Amazon.
Walk in the footsteps of a ghost tour guide willing to share personal experiences and firsthand accounts in her more than 20-year career. Share in the history and mystery of familiar locations and become familiar with some new haunts around Central Texas. Austin isn't just weird. It's paranormal. This is really cool.
That's
So
good.
congratulations
That's a
to
good line.
Monica on her second book. Most people don't write one in their lifetimes. Monica, you've got two. And we love you very much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome. So go buy
Oh,
Monica's
and
book.
a quick plug for her. I don't know if it's already over or if tickets are already sold out, but her group is doing a trip to Ireland.
Yes, Austin Ghost Tours. In October, they are doing a Samhain trip to Ireland, which, God, I wish we could go. It's gonna be.
We'll be somewhere else much more magical.
It's gonna be freaking awesome. So, well, I don't know about much more magical, but yeah, if that's something that you're interested in, go check it out. It's on their website, Austin Ghost Tours, and also just if you're in Austin and want to do something weird, Austin Ghost Tours. Take a ghost tour with
she's
them.
the best. If I were to say like you want a ghost tour, like if you're not gonna privately pay Nicole or I to go do it, go to Monica.
Monica's the best.
She's the best.
So,
what else? What else happened this past month?
We have more books that we found. The new book series, which I do judge a book by a cover, but they have this new series at Barnes and Noble, World of the Unexplained. So we got paranormal encounters, we got alien encounters, we got secret conspiracies. There's a few more, I think, but it's their new, weird series that they came out with.
Very good though. It's not your basic Barnes and Noble
I like it a lot. The design really of good. It's really good. They did a good job with these. So this will be our new, weird books that we're collecting, because we're collecting, what is it, the Mysteries of the Unknown or whatever. I don't know. The old book series. We just like collecting books like these. So yeah, they're in the book annex section in Barnes and Noble. So these are super cool if you want, I don't know, if you're like us and you're nerdy and like books, there you go.
Oh, also this past month, we had a really, really wonderful time at Alexis's shop, City Alchemist. Mm-hmm. We did a
museum pop-up.
A pop-up event where we brought some of the haunted items into their space at City Alchemist. And look, if you're into these kinds of things and you're looking for a metaphysical store, a witchcraft store, whatever, go there because you got the experts that own it, Alexis and his whole crew, and everything that they deal in there is wonderful. Keep your hands off some of the idols that are there, because one day I'll get those from Alexis. They're really cool. But go check them out. And we did an event, and it really was a great time.
Yeah, it was awesome. And it was really cool because it felt like a podcast crossover situation, because obviously we were there. Yeah. Alexis was there. Steven came out, Steven Blue from the Night Owl. So shout out to Steven. And of course there were, a bunch of other friends there that came to see the items and just experiment. We had some of our equipment and stuff that we set out so people could interact with them, take selfies with the mirror, all that fun stuff. But yeah, it was really fun. It was a good time. We just love hanging out with them. So
speaking of Steven, I believe it was this past month that his Night Owl podcast episode featuring us aired.
Yes.
Steven was he reached out to us to help with a case.
One of his cases
that he was doing
at the Sunset Strip. If you're looking for it on any of the whatever podcast platform, his Sunset Strip investigation series.
We're on there.
So he had reached out because it is many moons ago, RGO had investigated the floor below.
This is how we get Buttersquatch Falls.
Yeah, I combine words all the time. The floor below at Eden. And so we had already done all of the history, and he had reached out. I shared with him everything that we had, and then he had asked us to come back to help him do the final investigation. So we did. We got super weird. Damien brought the God phone.
Yeah.
It was its first outing, which, I believe.
And there's the new device that's getting put together. We'll get into that later. That'll probably be at the end of next monthly Meltdown. Some of the brethren already know about it because I couldn't contain myself, and I had to say, "You guys think I'm okay and sane?" And they're like, "Eric's like, I'm still with you, brother." I'm like, "Okay."
No, you're not. You're definitely not sane. Yeah. But
Yeah.
We are in this boat together.
There you
Hence
go.
why it's called the Monthly Meltdown.
Yeah. So go check out that episode, because it seems to us that what's happened as of recently is because our sort of methodologies in this and our thinking on it has gotten, it's out of the box. It's outside the box. So like people have been reaching out to us when things get to a point where they're like, we need weirds. Like when the weird get weird, the weird get weird.
Well, yeah, it's like, okay, we don't know what the fuck is going on. What do we do now?
Call these bros.
Talk to us. Because yeah, and I mean, I think that that's something, you know, obviously now is like, we're getting real weird with things, but even from the very beginning, you know, when you and I met, we both have always really valued doing experimentation and trying to find other ways of investigating these things that are outside of just like what the bros on the ghost shows are doing.
One of the very first times that you and I investigated together, it's been a couple years ago, I said to you, I said, hey, collect a group of your witch friends, meet me at the museum. And you showed up with a group of them. And I was like, okay, I need y'all to like get in a circle and start channeling this and that. And like when y'all did that, if you remember, you all take a deep breath in and then from the museum, your little REM pod started going off. It was pretty great. So like from that moment,
it was like,
it was literally diving into these weird methodologies that you don't really get a lot of airtime.
Yeah, well, I mean, which is what we like. We don't want to be doing what everybody else is doing. We want to be, you know, coming up with the shit that everybody else is like, oh, that's really cool, and then starts doing it, right?
Correct.
But also give us credit and please shout us out.
I don't care about that. I don't care. I really don't. I mean, but as long as you're trying it and you're getting results, that's awesome. God, what else this month? It's been so busy, guys. We literally have not had a chance to catch our breath. Which is good. I mean, we have gotten to the point where we're thinking very seriously.
I don't think we're gonna have a break until the end of June.
No, we're not. But we've gotten to the point where we're very seriously considering just getting an Airstream and just rolling.
We are,
because
shout out, Mom. I'm not kidding. I'm gonna come park it on your property.
It's a beautiful property.
It is
property, but you're just hitting the road, because we've found that we have started to allow nature, the universe, the surroundings, the world around us to talk to us. And speak to us in a way that we have been looking at synchronicities as they happen, no matter how big or small, and then we go with it. And it has taken us to...
Well, I think that this brings it back to like the beginning of the conversation when you were talking about, you know, how our investigations and stuff recently are getting like weirder.
They've completely changed.
I feel like this is what we're doing now. It's less like we are going out and seeking things and more like, what are the signs that we're getting from the universe? What are the synchronicities that are happening? Where are things lining up? And like, we're just going there. We're just following that.
Well, I think it's this natural progression too of, and I know this is going to sound very Jungian and I'm sorry for that, but it's this natural progression of, I've noticed it, of our ego dropping and dropping and dropping and dropping. Because, you know, think about your typical, what RGO, like let's say used to be, what a lot of paranormal shows are, is like, okay, big haunted location, we're going to do a medium walk and this, and it's all about nothing but the people on the show, versus we have sort of gotten rid of that idea and we said, hey, we're open. We want to be little receivers, and whatever's being transmitted, we want to just follow that and put it in your hands. I think that's interesting. It's a much better use of, like when we did the walk in Mississippi, your walk in Mississippi, it was so different.
Well, yeah, because it wasn't a house or a location.
It was an entire town.
I don't know.
It's a bigger, deeper philosophical way of doing it. It's infinitely better than what we were doing before. And we just evolved. And who knows, a year from now, it could get so weird that we're like, I don't know, in space or something.
No, I'm not interested in that.
Space?
I do not want to go to space. Like the training that they have to do for that. Like, no, I'm not trying to go on the vomit rocket or whatever and do not interested.
I just want
not
a personal
interested.
UFO, that's all.
I'm a, you know, spa girly and like lay in bed until 10 and, you know, like have a plush bathrobe and, you know, scented candles, I'm not.
And she's talking about just getting in an Airstream and going. Won't work for her. Spa girly, Spock
hey,
girly.
Glenda. Yeah, well, you can still be like comfy and cozy.
Traveling in an Airstream across the country?
Yeah, I mean, I might
Ish.
not be able to take like a bath, but I can, go to a spa.
You can
or
take a bath. You
something.
can take a bath in God's bath. You can literally go out to the middle of nowhere to springs and bathe in that.
That sounds like you wouldn't actually get clean.
I believe you would.
That sounds
The ancient people did it.
Hey,
Gwenda.
Sanitary.
Hello. So this past month, I think that really sums it up, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm like trying to think. Is there any? I mean, who knows? Oh, I know what. Here, I have something to tell you that happened earlier in the house.
Oh.
See, so much stuff happens that I just like forget. So earlier we're working on training the parapup. I took him out for a little excursion. And we got back to the house. Not only was the master bedroom door open, the light in the bedroom was on, all of the lights in the bathroom were on, and the light in the closet was on. I did not do that. I am always turning lights off. I don't like lights on. We have like lamps everywhere. I do not leave the master bedroom door open. It's always closed. So that happened earlier here.
Oh no. Yeah, things have gotten a bit interesting here as well. Really, really kicked off when we added a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
But the other day I get home, I've been gone all day, and I come home, Cole's here, and I'm sitting there, we're talking. I'm standing in the kitchen, which is right over there. I believe you were sitting somewhere in this general area.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear this noise.
Yeah.
It's hard to explain what it sounded like, but it was very apparent, very loud. Like knock, but like it sounded like almost. It sounded
like somebody's like doing something.
Anyways, I was like, what the heck was that? And Nicole just looks up. She goes, "Oh yeah, about that." I'm like, "What do you mean about that? I've been home for an hour. What do you mean about that?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's been happening all day." I'm like, "What the hell?" So it's so interesting. You can tell the kind of lives that we lead where.
And that literally just happened.
Did you hear that?
Yes. That sounded like a little like thud or something. Hopefully somebody else heard that.
Anyways,
but
the kind of lives we lead where I can literally get home being gone all day and I hear this phenomenon happen, and Nicole just sort of haphazardly looks up, rather aloof, and just says, yeah, that's been happening all day. Wasn't the first thing she told me when I got home.
It was literally sounded like a person was here with me.
Yeah.
Also just shouting out, Baka Mama 1 said, "Hey bruvs, love for the podcast in Travis County."
Hey bruv.
Thanks, bruv.
Thanks, bruv.
Thanks for listening, bruv, and being here.
Hey, also this past month, we forgot to mention, we've been running around Lockhart.
Mm-hmm.
We've been investigating.
That's our
some places.
kind of our ongoing series. Yes, we've been going to Lockhart.
We don't know what to do with it yet, but we've been given basically keys to the ghostly city there.
And this is, here, we'll put the call out. If anybody has ideas, because I'm going to be honest, it is a very big undertaking for us. We've never done anything like this. I still have no idea how I'm going to even format these episodes. But the Historical Commission, they reached out to us. And pretty much the entire, if you've been to Lockhart in Texas, it's super cute, but pretty much the entire like downtown area, a lot of the businesses there in the buildings are experiencing paranormal activity. And they're like, hey, yeah, we'll get you in wherever you want to go.
Well, what's cool is these are places that aren't tainted with other paranormal investigator types, because they're
not known at all as haunted.
There's a lot to be said about that, which would take too much for this live stream, but if you know me, you know where I'm going with that.
So yeah, we've been there. We've done a couple locations now. We just got another hot lead on a place that apparently is haunted that we had no idea about, a barbecue joint there.
Well, which we were coming home from Victoria, and look, this is
synchronicity.
This has been happening a lot, and I don't say this but it is just interesting and true. We have started. Anytime I get like an idea, I'll be like, "Oh, let's go do. We need to do this. I want to do this." We were driving home from Victoria. I said, "I just want barbecue."
Yeah.
And we're like, "Oh, well, we're passing through Lockhart.
Yeah.
Let's go to this place. Blah blah blah." And we get there, and then of course, one of the bruvs in there starts talking to RW, who was with us, and I think kind of hitting on her maybe a little bit. I don't
Really?
know. I think they're sweet on her a bit. And
Probably.
yeah. And so they're talking like, oh yeah, we see shadows in here, like, and blah,
Yeah.
blah. I'm like, huh. So that could be a cool thing that gets set up just because
Yeah.
we decided like, Danny wants barbecue. We got to get barbecue.
Yeah. But see, that's how I feel like that is a perfect example of what we're talking about when we say this kind of like new direction, in the sense that it's just, we are simply following where the universe is leading us. But I do also want to say, and this, whatever, it's woo, but I like human design a lot, and both of us are generators. And that is like how our human design for generators is, you are literally supposed to, like, if you are doing what you love doing, you act as like a magnet, and these things just are like magnetically attracted to you. So that is literally how we are designed to go through the world according to human design.
Well, that did happen a bit in Centerville, because when we were in Centerville, we took a quick little 30-minute drive down the road because we've both never been to the Myrtles Plantation, which is now going to be a thing when we go back, because we're going to do an episode there, because when we decided to show up there, wildest things happen. So first off, we're walking around doing our thing, and like Nicole said, we're like a magnet, and people are just approaching us, asking us the weirdest shit. One lady we walked by, she's like, what'd y'all pick up on? We're like, what? Another group came up to us and was like, oh, what do you guys do? Like, because everyone was so interested in just us for some reason. So
it was just like people after people after people coming up to us. With
this, following these like random ideas, we're about to leave. And I noticed that the Myrtles has a little restaurant.
Yeah, they have a restaurant.
And I said, I'm not leaving Myrtles Plantation without having a glass of wine here.
Yeah.
And I think at first it was kind of like a, oh, Damien, no. And I'm like, no, I want a glass of wine. We're here. We're doing it. So we go in there, and all of a sudden these ladies come up to us out of nowhere. They start talking our ear off.
Yeah.
Turns out one of them is the previous owner of the restaurant that was on the Myrtles Plantation before it burned down. And she starts telling us all these, ghost stories, gives us her information to reach out. And so now we're going to make Myrtles a thing. We're going to go, we're going to do it. And it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That was super cool. And I also do want to note, we were not wearing like ghost hunter attire. Okay.
We don't wear ghost hunter attire.
Well, if you look at what you're wearing right now, you have a hat on that says conspiracy theorist, and sit back, I heart bad boy. Okay.
This is not ghost hunter attire.
But this is it looks like if you're going to the Myrtles Plantation, you're probably doing something weird there. Okay. You weren't wearing this. I think you were just wearing a normal t-shirt. I was wearing a bubblegum pink dress. Okay. We did not look like we were there looking for ghosts. Okay. That's all I'm saying. But it was like constantly people were just coming up to us.
Yeah. Ghost hunter attire is the grossest thing ever. Cool. Like you get like a vest that you can hold all your stuff in. It's like a tactical vest.
Yeah. Yeah. Got my REM pod in one pocket, got my EMF meter in the other.
What's up, bro? You need a flashlight?
You need a red flashlight?
I got you. Right? You need a can of soda?
No.
That's what those get.
Sorry, Hurricane. Yeah, they get the no button. That's actually the first, that was a big moment for Parapeculiar. We recorded an episode with our first bit of radio technology. We have a buzzer.
No!
Yeah.
The no button, which is awesome.
We need to just start setting out all of them when we're doing the episodes, because we have yes, no, and maybe.
No.
You don't want to set all of them out?
No!
Why? I think that would make it better.
No!
Okay.
No.
All right.
It's a lot of fun. That's pretty much been the last month, which is wild, right? There's a lot to pack in a month.
I'm sure we're missing things, but
we definitely are. So
yeah, that's our brains. ADD. What do you want?
Yeah.
And Millie's on the counter. Millie, you're bad.
You're good.
No, she's very bad.
You gotta look at me when I say that.
Millie, get off the counter.
I love you, my little Shiva. Yes.
And this is why she is
my little feline goddess.
Bad, because she does not get disciplined. You're bad cat dad.
Mm-hmm.
Bad cat parent.
Little Russian blue just reminded me we've lost our Russian listener.
What? We did?
Yeah.
Oh, the KGB's not tracking us anymore. That's probably good.
Well, after today, they probably are. Oh. Anyways, guys, that was the monthly meltdown. I have nothing else. I don't know. You?
Is that it? I don't know. I mean, there's always something else, but the question is, will our brains remember it? And right now in this moment, no.
Yeah.
No. All right.
Reach out to us. Let us know where you want us to go. Oh, that's the last thing. That's the big thing that we're trying to do pushing forward is because we do all these travels and go to these places and we let the universe kind of take us. We want you to be our universe. So if you have like a place in the country, that we can drive to, that you want us to go. Yeah.
Weird places that you would like to see investigated, weird mystery things that you're like, hey, bruvs, you need to go here. Ideally, not like Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Like, we love Waverly Hills. We want to go back. But like the weird places, the stuff that like, because like you grew up there and you're like, I don't know, this was always kind of weird, which I just have to say, shout out to Lydia. She's one of our Patreon members. Dude, she just sent me an email recently with a place like that with all of these like links and everything. I'm like, oh my God, I immediately forwarded.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I immediately forwarded it to RW. I guess we're referring to her now for your anonymity because we didn't ask if we could talk about you. So correct. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, yeah, you gotta like, okay, we gotta look into this. So shout out to Lydia for doing that because that was freaking awesome. And thank you so much.
Shout out to all of our little group, our little family, because the Anna saga, which will be taking us to North Carolina, we believe, at some point.
Yeah.
Which we're also going to stalk down up Sulca when we're there.
Yeah. Well, not I believe. We are. We're going to go.
We're definitely going.
It's just a matter of when.
Matter of getting it done, but it'll be soon. They have really stepped up to the plate and like gone to bat for what we're doing and have gotten history. They think they found this person. They're drawing us pictures and they're all lining up. Like every one of them are doing this their own solo work, and it's all lining up together. Which for me, I think I cried. I cry over everything
so
we
cool.
do.
I mean, it's so cool, and it's stuff like this though. Like, I mean, anybody who has ever tried looking into these things, how difficult it can be. And
especially when it starts with a voice from a radio.
Well, yes. That, I mean, I feel like that's just weird. We're just weird, but it's hard. It's hard doing these things, and so it's just so helpful having like other brains. More brains are better than one, and everybody like working as a team and being like, oh, we got this information, let's like put it together. And like,
so it's hard out here for a GIMP.
Community. What does that mean?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
I don't know what
it's not a motorcycle, it's a chopper.
Damien, I'm not over the hill like you are.
Well, I'm going to go fall down that hill. Do you have anything else?
Type shit.
Slay. We were talking about that yesterday, weren't we? About what if you just change type shit? That's like the word the kids say.
No.
They say type poop.
Wayne, you have to ask Candace now. You have to ask your daughter and see if that is. I think that's a hard no. It's going to be a hard no on that one. I think you just outed yourself as 500 million years old.
Yeah. Vampire.
Right.
I look good for that.
All right. Father time. Let's go. Look
at Wayne said it. Get the GIMP.
I don't know.
GIMP sleeping, Wayne. All right. That was it. That's the monthly meltdown.
Put you to bed. You've had too much excitement.
And I'm feverish, I think. Yeah. All right, guys. That was it. Thank you so much for showing up. We really appreciate you. We love you. Hope to talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Yeah.